Hey y'all, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm Susan, your hostess. We're in my kitchen today. We're doing hashtag chicken collab, hosted by our treasured home, Miss Nancy. It is an open collaboration. It is a never-ending collaboration, I might add. And if you have a good chicken recipe that you can share with Miss Nancy, she will truly appreciate it. Well, it's rainy in the South. West Tennessee, we've had thunderstorms coming through, and it is lunchtime, and I'm hungry, and I don't have anything really I want to eat. And I thought, well, I've got some of my canned ugly chicken, but you could use regular canned chicken if you had it. And I have some vegetable broth that didn't seal. I had it in my freezer and I want to get it out of the freezer, so I've been defrosting it. It's still got a little bit of ice in it. You can use chicken broth if you have it, or you can use that, the stuff that you mix up and make chicken broth with. I'm just pulling stuff out of my pantry, y'all. I have some home canned carrots, but yet my peas are store-bought peas. We're going to use some peas and carrots in this. You can use whatever kind of egg noodles or any kind of noodles that you really like, or you can use rice. It's up to you. These are Spatzel Swabian egg noodles from Germany. I'm going to use those up because I don't have many left in my jar. And then I've got some soup-based greens. I'm going to add that into this. I may add some more ingredients. I don't know. We're going to see how it tastes. Okay, I have added in the gelatinous chicken broth off of that meat, and I'm going to get this started. I'm going to go ahead and turn my burner on. I have deboned my chicken, and I made sure that there's no little bones in there, and I'm just going to drop that into the pot. Y'all pardon my hands. I'm a messy, messy cook. I'll wipe my hands off. We're going to get the rest of this stuff in here. Now, my carrots are home canned, so I'm going to leave the broth in there with the carrots because you're getting all kinds of good vitamins and nutrients. But the canned peas, I have rinsed and drained. I drain them, then I rinse them, and I drain them. So we're going to throw that into our pot. It really doesn't matter what kind of vegetables you're using at this point. Just as long as you have some vegetables in there. Now, I'm hoping this is defrosted enough I can get it out of the jars. That's one. And two. So we've got the majority of the ingredients in our pot. I've got my heat turned up to a medium high. I'm going to get some of my soup greens out. We're going to add this into our pot. I'm going to add 2 generous heaping tablespoons, maybe a little bit more, because we really like the taste of the soup greens. So about 2.5 tablespoons. We're going to get a spoon and stir this. And then once it's heated completely through, we're going to add in our noodles and allow it to cook. I'm going to give it a taste and just make sure everything tastes right once it comes to a boil. If you're scared of botulism with your canned food, you always want to boil it for 10 minutes before you taste it. That kills any botulism in anything that you have home canned. And it usually has to do with your vegetables and your meats and so forth. So we're just going to allow this to come to a boil. If I need more chicken broth or more stock, I will add it to this. It's going to be more like a stew than a soup. And this will be my lunch and also what we're having for supper tonight. So I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone. All right, I know the lighting in here is not the greatest in the world, but it looks amazing, y'all. It's smelling amazing, but I have decided that I needed more vegetable broth in here, or chicken broth. And since I have vegetable broth in my pantry, I pulled that out. We're going to get that poured in there, because when I get ready to cook these noodles, I want it to have some juice for them to absorb. Clean my mess up. I'm a clean as you go cook. Now you notice I didn't put any potatoes or anything like that. I could add some of my dehydrated okra powder to thicken this and give it more of a gumbo consistency. I could add dehydrated okra or any kind of vegetables I wanted to add into this. You just do whatever you feel comfortable with. But I do like the soup greens because they give it such a nice flavor. And I buy those from As Your Standard. It's got a little bit of everything in it. It's got onion and peppers and carrots and seasonings, scallions, stuff like that. So it gives it a really nice flavor. And it's dark out today, so my soup is looking kind of dark in here too. But it is very colorful. You'll get a close-up of this towards the end of the video. So basically all I'm doing is bringing it back up to a boil, and then we're going to add in our noodles and let them absorb that liquid and add more liquid if I need it, because I do have quite a few noodles. Look at the colors in that. Just a pretty soup. And chicken soup is always good, but it's cold and rainy out. And I thought, well, this is kind of a soup day for us. Now we can serve this with cornbread or biscuits, or you can serve it with sourdough bread or crackers. We like to serve our soups with cheddar cheese and pickles and crackers. Now I don't have any cheddar cheese today, but you can also pair this off with a salad on the side. There's just a lot of options when you make a homemade soup. So we're going to get all those dehydrated vegetables hydrated, and we're going to have some really good homemade soup. Another good item that you can always add into your chicken soup is garlic. You can add a little bit of garlic to it, and if it's too greasy, you can add a little bit of lemon juice to brighten it up. But because this is in a vegetable broth, it's got a lot of flavor and a lot of nutrients from the vegetables that we save from the scraps. It's going to be yummy delicious. So our dehydrated vegetables are starting to rehydrate. We're getting ready to come to a boil. Give it another stir. Now, depending on the noodles that you're cooking with, you just follow the directions on the package as to how long you want to allow your soup to cook. These noodles need to cook for 12 to 14 minutes. So I'm just going to dump them in there. That's probably about a cup or a cup and a half of noodles, maybe 2 cups. These noodles swell up and they get larger as they cook. So they're going to absorb a lot of that flavor. We're going to let that cook for about 14 minutes and we'll be back. All right, I gave it another taste. I decided it needs a little bit of garlic, so I'm putting in a tablespoon of minced garlic. And I'm going to put in a little bit of black pepper as well. So I'm just going to cheat and open up my pepper shaker and take out about a half a teaspoon of black pepper in my hand. And I did not add any salt because the carrots were canned with salt. And I don't remember putting salt in with the chicken, but the broth had a little bit of a salty flavor to it as well. And I don't remember putting any salt in the broth either, so always wait until the end to add the salt if you think you need salt when you're using home canned goods or even store-bought goods, because a lot of sodium is in your store-bought goods. So our noodles are starting to swell up, and we're just going to allow this to continue to cook for a few more minutes, and I'm going to give it another taste test to make sure that it is where I want it to be. Alright, I've added a light so that you can see how beautiful this soup is looking. It is just a beautiful soup, and my noodles are big and they will continue to expand when I turn my burner off if I've covered my pot. But that is a rich broth and a beautiful soup. Let's get that ladled up. Alrighty. I'm going to get a little bit of the broth to go in there as well. There's our soup ready to serve. It's piping hot. I'm adding in some parsley flakes just as a garnish. Doesn't that look delicious? This is hashtag Chicken Collab, hosted by Nancy at Our Treasured Home. It is an open collaboration. I will put a link to the playlist in the description box below if Nancy has one, and y'all go check them out. Check out those recipes. Yum, yum. Thank you for watching, and may you be fully blessed.